Maya and Samir had been married for 2 wonderful years, or at least that is what Maya blindly believed. Lately, Samir had been acting incredibly distant, constantly hiding his phone screen and staying late at his office under the pretext of urgent business meetings. Desperate to rekindle their fading spark, Maya decided to plan the ultimate romantic anniversary surprise at a luxury beach resort in paradise. She secretly booked a breathtaking, high-end tropical resort getaway, packing her bags with excitement and a heart full of hope. Maya arrived at the resort a day early to arrange a special candlelight dinner by the ocean, completely unaware of the horror awaiting her. Walking through the lush palm trees toward the sparkling swimming pool, she suddenly spotted a familiar figure standing under the bright sun. Maya quickly hid behind a thick palm tree, her breath catching in her throat as her eyes locked onto the devastating scene before her. There stood Samir, completely relaxed in floral beach shorts, holding a tropical cocktail and smiling warmly at a beautiful woman in a stunning red dress. The way he wrapped his arm around her waist and looked deeply into her eyes made Maya's entire world shatter into a million pieces. Gripped by absolute shock, anger, and betrayal, Maya stood frozen behind the tree as tears welled up in her eyes, threatening to spill over. She watched them laugh, clink their glasses together, and share an intimate kiss that confirmed every single one of her worst nightmares. Instead of making a dramatic scene right there, Maya took a deep, shaky breath, wiped her tears, and let a cold, calculated anger take over. Maya checked into her own separate suite under her maiden name, immediately launching a stealthy investigation into who this mysterious woman was. By bribing a resort staff member, she discovered that the woman was none other than Samir's wealthy ex-girlfriend, and they had been using this trip to plan something sinister. It turned out Samir was plotting to completely drain Maya's shared bank accounts and file for a fraudulent divorce. With a brilliant master plan in mind, Maya secretly transferred all their mutual funds into a secure personal account before Samir could even notice. She then organized a massive, public dinner event at the resort's main dining hall, inviting all the guests and projecting a video that exposed his cheating footage on the big screen. Samir and his mistress were utterly humiliated in front of everyone, and Maya walked away with her head held high, completely victorious in paradise. As the video finished playing on the giant screen, the entire dining hall fell into a stunned silence, followed by loud whispers and gasps from the guests. Samir stood frozen, his face turning pale as he realized his dark secrets had been completely laid bare in front of his wealthy business associates. His mistress, unable to handle the intense embarrassment and judgmental glares, quickly grabbed her purse and ran out of the hall, leaving him entirely alone. Furious and humiliated, Samir rushed after Maya, cornering her near the resort's brightly lit beach path to demand an explanation. He tried to switch from anger to desperation, dropping to his knees and begging for forgiveness, claiming it was all a terrible mistake and that he still loved her. Maya simply looked down at him with cold, emotionless eyes, pulled out her phone, and played a recording of him planning to steal her life savings, silencing him instantly. The very next morning, Maya boarded the first flight back home, leaving Samir stranded at the Paradise Resort with absolutely no access to money or hotel accommodations. Upon returning, she immediately hired the top divorce lawyer in the city and handed over a secure drive containing all the financial tracking and video evidence she had gathered. Armed with undeniable proof of fraud and infidelity, Maya was prepared to strip Samir of everything he had left. When Samir finally returned to the city, he tried to access his bank accounts to pay off his massive debts, only to find they were legally frozen. He rushed to their shared home, but the security locks had been changed, and his belongings were packed in cardboard boxes sitting on the curb outside. Maya had completely blocked him from her life, refusing to answer his desperate calls, messages, or emails as the legal battle officially began. The court battle was swift and decisive. The judge was completely disgusted by Samir's clear intent to financially ruin his wife under a fraudulent scheme. Thanks to the solid evidence Maya provided, the court awarded her full ownership of their properties, a massive financial settlement, and absolute freedom. Samir was left entirely bankrupt, his professional reputation completely ruined among his peers, and his ex-girlfriend refused to even speak to him. 1 year later, Maya stood on the balcony of her beautiful new apartment, overlooking the city skyline with a peaceful smile on her face. She had used her settlement money to launch a successful business of her own, transforming her painful heartbreak into absolute independence and strength. The betrayal in paradise had threatened to destroy her, but instead, it became the exact catalyst that helped her build a much brighter, unstoppable future. Working swiftly over the next 48 hours from her hidden suite, Maya executed a brilliant, multi-layered counter-strategy. She contacted her family's trusted private attorney, legally revoking Samir's power of attorney over all her personal assets and corporate shares. She then quietly moved every single cent of their mutual investment funds into a secure, locked offshore account that required her biometric verification. Next, Maya purchased high-definition, professional camera footage from the resort's private security team, capturing undeniable evidence of Samir and Natasha's infidelity. She then approached the resort's event director, paying a premium to sponsor the upcoming grand anniversary gala dinner in the main hall. She made sure that Samir's prominent business partners and wealthy corporate investors, who happened to be staying at the resort, were personally invited. On the night of the grand gala, the magnificent dining hall was packed with elite guests, sparkling chandeliers, and soft classical music. Samir and Natasha entered the room completely dressed up, assuming they were simply attending an elite VIP resort party. As the main course was served, the lights suddenly dimmed, and the resort manager announced a special tribute video dedicated to true love and partnerships. Instead of a romantic montage, the giant projector screen flashed with crisp, crystal-clear footage of Samir and Natasha kissing passionately by the pool. Accompanying the video were high-resolution screenshots of Samir's fraudulent bank transfers, illegal contracts, and emails plotting to ruin Maya. The entire hall fell into a heavy, suffocating silence, followed immediately by loud gasps of absolute disgust from Samir's top investors. Instead of a romantic montage, the giant projector screen flashed with crisp, crystal-clear footage of Samir and Natasha kissing passionately by the pool. Accompanying the video were high-resolution screenshots of Samir's fraudulent bank transfers, illegal contracts, and emails plotting to ruin Maya. The entire hall fell into a heavy, suffocating silence, followed immediately by loud gasps of absolute disgust from Samir's top investors. Panicked and completely desperate, Samir chased Maya out toward the dimly lit, moonlit beach path, desperately trying to grab her arm. He fell to his knees on the wet sand, weeping and begging for mercy, claiming Natasha had blackmailed him into the entire scheme. Maya merely smiled with pure ice, playing a crisp audio recording of him mocking her intelligence to Natasha, which completely crushed his pathetic defense. Before Samir could speak another word, Maya informed him that she had already contacted the local authorities and the resort security. Because she had paid for the entire trip using her personal credit card, she had the resort cancel Samir's room key and freeze his access. He was completely thrown out of the luxury resort in the middle of the night, left stranded on the island with absolutely no money or shelter. The very next morning, Maya boarded a first-class flight back home, feeling an incredible, liberating sense of relief wash over her. The moment she landed, she met with a ruthless, highly aggressive legal team to officially file for divorce on the grounds of severe corporate fraud and infidelity. She handed over a secure digital drive containing a massive mountain of undeniable evidence that her team had safely gathered. When Samir finally managed to borrow enough money to return to the city, his life turned into an inescapable living hell. He discovered that every single one of his corporate bank accounts had been legally frozen by federal investigators due to Maya's detailed reports. He rushed to their luxury matrimonial home, only to find the high-tech security codes completely changed and his clothes packed in cheap boxes outside. The highly publicized court battle that followed was incredibly swift, brutal, and completely devastating for Samir's future. The judge was thoroughly appalled by the clear, documented evidence of Samir's dark plot to financially drain and ruin his own wife. The court ordered an absolute judgment, awarding Maya full sole ownership of their prime real estate, his remaining company shares, and a massive settlement. Samir was left completely and utterly bankrupt, stripped of his professional credentials, his wealth, and his dignity. His business partners immediately broke all ties with him, ensuring that he would never be able to work in the corporate sector again. Even Natasha completely abandoned him the second his wealth vanished, leaving him to live in a tiny, broken rental apartment on the rough edge of town. Exactly 1 year later, Maya stood proudly on the spacious balcony of her magnificent new penthouse apartment, looking at the city skyline. She had successfully utilized her massive court settlement to launch a highly profitable investment firm, proving her incredible business mind to the world. She had completely transformed her deep, painful heartbreak into absolute, unshakable financial freedom, power, and independence. Down below in the cold city streets, Samir walked through the pouring rain, staring up at Maya's brightly lit penthouse from a distance with deep regret. He had lost the only woman who ever truly loved and supported him, all for a temporary, greedy illusion of paradise. Maya turned her back to the window, smiling gently as she realized that the ultimate revenge wasn't just destroying her enemy, but building an unstoppable, brilliant life.